tied them together, what really ties them together, you never want to do Disney, what you do not want to make it look exactly like it was there earlier, which you want to complement blend. Line them up.
The windows are different. That's
Beautiful, and then across the top, what really ties them together. Can you see that glass mansard roof? Across the old and the new. Many say that is the way those two are tied together to make that work. They wanted to put that addition on its own line. They did not have enough space, so they had to combine it with the original building.
Yeah.
So we're coming in here, we're going to see another deco. This deco building is done in 1930. I don't know if you agree, but we've talked so much deco this morning. This afternoon, I should say. I'd like to focus more on this structure on the setback. This is done by Hollow River Root and Andrew Rory Architects in 1930, the LaSalle Walker building. But see where the flag is in the center? It's sort of like if you were a giant, you kind of just pop yourself in there, kind of like it's a high back out for a giant. That setback is very important. So the structures get taller. Set the back, the shadows off the street, get some light into your office. Every one of your towns and cities, these buildings get taller. Have the setback kind of there's some sort of ruling. The building was done in 1930. There was a setback ordinance here in the early 20s. There's another one here before that.
Clark Street.
So as we talk about that, as we come back out here, done by recordable field. And the local from the Stefano. So this one here on the right. Come here to the right. The sign says 77 Wacker. Some of you might remember this is the Donnelly building. Before Donnelly, or after Donnelly had the naming rights, United Airlines had the naming rights here, not for that many years. Now we don't have any naming rights except we call it 77 Wacker. Both of us known for this exaggerated classes. So we did this at the Stefano in about 1992. It's got the 77 Wacker over the entry. The corners are pulled out, more corner offices, and as your eye travels up, do you see that triangular pediment? Most people say, oh, postmodern wise, it kind of looks like a modern Greek temple because of the triangular pediment on the top. You may or may not agree. Both of those know this exaggerated class. That is really his first major Chicago commission. Next door here. Kevin Roach is in, well, he passed away a few years ago. He was an Irishman, but he was here for a long time. West Walker, his Leo Burnett building. It was done about 1989. And what do you see is postmodern there? Yeah, everybody does it. Most people look at that building. I think it looks like a column. There's a base, a shaft, and the top of what we call the cup. Roach won the Pritzker Award of Architecture, perhaps the most prestigious architectural award in the world. There's no Nobel Prize in architecture right now, so to win the Pritzker is a lovely way of being acknowledged in your field. Did not win it for that particular building. Pritzker is given to a living architect for all his work. He didn't even do this building until maybe 7 years after he got the Pritzker Award. Next door here, well, this is a favorite of many passengers if you want to ready your cameras. This is the Jewelers building, about 2/3 of the way up. Do you see those little water towers? They're empty now, but they're very ornamental. They used to house water towers, 4 of them. There's up to another tower that's even more narrow. Amazing amount if you were a jeweler. This building was done in 1926 by Thielbar, Fugard, and Schieffer and Dickelberg. You were a jeweler until 1940. Drive your car in right here on Flower Walker and they elevate your car right to your office with you and your jewelry getting there very safe. What happened in 1940? Cars could go larger. You would have had to wholly redesign the elevator system. That didn't happen. So no more parking garage, no more taking your car to where your jewelry floor is. That's the Jewelers building. They're going to some passengers. So coming in here. So another terracotta building, tucked in between the two hotels, the Royal Sonesta and the London House. Right in between there, the very narrow building with all the terracotta. Narrows even further to a top tower. That is the Mather Tower, done by Herbert Hurrell in 1928. Amazing humanity there. What do you think of this being Chicago's tallest building for 1 week? I was scurrying around my notes trying to figure out who took the title from them in 7 days. The Roaring Twenties were a very busy time to build buildings. So there was a lot going on at the same time. Turns out this one started out 8 feet higher off the ground. So when they topped it off, symbolically they made it Chicago's tallest for like about a week or so. That's how that got to be the title for that particular building. Yeah, there's another building as we come in here before we get under the bridge, and this is the fifth style. This is what we have not really mentioned much today. This is what we call Beaux-Art. That's the revival, the formal discussion. This is the style of buildings in the World's Fair. The windbags got us to host. So looking out here to the right, over the entryway says London Guarantee. They insured shippers. So you can see the curving. So out here, this is what we call Beaux-Art. This is our fifth style. This is the style of buildings in the World's Fair that the windbags got us to host. People were so entranced with the beauty of the Columbia composition. This style came back in fashion. This is 30 years after the World's Fair. So See the curvy colonnade, that top temple tower we call a Belvedere. Look at those pediments all lined up across the top. That is probably the loveliest Beaux-Arts building that survives downtown today. That was done by Alfred Alschuler in 1923. Today it's the London House Hotel. Lake Michigan pretty much came up to this point in the early years, so it would be very important that their shipping office would be right near the bank of the river. And the lake, actually the lake came up here too, so that's important. So looking at the first one on the right, so you get across the ridge or under the ridge. 333 North Michigan with the round windows, which are mimicking what's in the bridge tower. 333 was done by Hollywood and Root in 1928, and they modeled their building a little bit after the second place winner in the tubing competition. He was Eliel Saarinen of Finland, who won. Look to your left. Howland Hood took first place. Ooh, the Chicago architect Louis Solomon was put out. Chicago chose this pretty building on the left. And then there's something more cutting edge, which is a little bit like the one over here. You know what Sullivan said? Chicago said architecture back, so they chose the wrong winner. I tell you that story because no matter what you do in life, you are never going to please everyone. The one on the right is not Saarinen, they copied him to some extent. What else is here in terms of this? Looking over on the right is landfill. Lake Michigan, as I said, went almost up to the Michigan Avenue Bridge. So some of this landfill on the right, believe it or not, this is debris from the Great Chicago Fire of 1970. In the distance here between the two reddish brick buildings with the Hyatt Hotel, can you see the building with the spire on top there? It's a little bit like the Chrysler Building in New York.
Oh, yeah.
That is, where's my New York? This is Pru two Prudential Center by the Lobos Hospital in Manhattan. Pays tribute, not just to William and Alice Chrysler Building in Manhattan, but to all the decos from the 20s and 30s. However they survived today. Next door to it, you see the top quarter of a building. Granite columns going straight up and down vertically, windowless corners and a squared up roof line. I mentioned it anyhow, we don't see much of it, but that when it opened in 73, opened before Sears Tower, that was our tallest building for a few years. Sears Tower took the title from it. Back then it was called Standard Oil or Big Stand, Ramaco. Today it's called Aon, the insurance firm, which is our fourth tallest building today. Before we disembark, we'll list all 5 tall buildings in order as we see them. We'll wait for... You all wish you were on that party boat?
Oh, that's a
Too
party
bad you're on the
boat.
intellectual cruise.
Oh, that's nice.
They're on a fancy one.
Mm-hmm.
They have a fancy one.
It's enclosed
When
too.
we come beneath here, though, you're going to see a building triangular in shape with opening painted opaque and reflective glass.
Okay,
Top
I'm
of the
so
Swiss
ready.
Hotel is shaped like a triangle. Remember Harry Weiss who did this cute little river cottages on the North Branch? Same year he did the river cottages, he did the Swiss Hotel right here on your right. Peaky balconies, varying sizes, wraps around the corners. For you women aboard, heads up. That opened in 2008 is Aqua. It was designed by Jeannie Gang, which is the tallest building in the world by a woman architect.
Wow.
All the women used to
Wow.
just mean when I say that. Sometimes I start clapping when I announce that. Barely did it open in 2008. She won the Important Skyscraper Award of the Year. A little bit later, she got a MacArthur combination called the Genius Grant. It's so well thought of by most people who weren't used to a building not being very symmetrical. I'm laughing because I had one passenger. She was very outspoken. She stood up, she tells the entire bunch. She said, I don't know. She said, to me, it looks like fungus growing on the side of a tree. We all laughed and could understand where she's coming from, too. But today, when you talk about that building, Aqua, the upper levels are condos, the mid-stories are apartments for rent, the lower floors are Hotel Blue, part of the Radisson chain. And next door here is a building with blue green glass, different heights, some shorter sections. And if you look over to the right, it kind of undulates as it goes up. Guess what? Jeannie Gang outdid her own record. This is the tallest building in the world. This is St. Regis. It just opened a few years ago. The hotel is the lower dozen floors. Up above are condos. They were open first.
This is the prettiest one.
12 floors,
Yeah.
I think, in the hotel.
Very
If you almost look at
different.
the glass, it looks kind of darker color. That's the amenities floor, and then the rest of those are condos. The one
I see
feature
she
I'd
likes
really
to
like
make
point out, if you
waves.
Look up at
Yeah.
Jeannie Gang's building here. Can you see floor 83 all open on the sides? That's called a blow-through. Can you see way up there? You all watch your eyes. That helped that building with its stability. Here we are out close to the lake. Can you just feel the wind picking up on us too? So they want to make sure that building's where it's supposed to be. So they did this blow through. Also, of course, the pilings go underground, 100, 110 feet, wherever they need to go till they get to bedrock. I'm not quite sure. It varies somewhat. And then this building also has that damper system, huge containers of water, slosh back and forth. The wind is directed from the building into the water to mainly focus on that, to keep that building a little more stable. So that's what we've got there to keep on the St. Regis where it's supposed to be. So we talk about St. Regis, that building. I want to go through the 5 tallest buildings. This one is third. The St. Regis Hotel and Condos is about 1,190 feet tall. One, of course, is Sears or Willis, whatever you want to call it, at 1452. Is Trump Tower right behind us. That one is 1,389 feet tall. This one is about 1,190. 4 is the one I just mentioned. We only saw the top quarter of it coming up and down vertically. And that was the one we called Aon. Today, but it was Standard Oil, Big Stand when it opened, and that's about 1,137, 130 feet. 4 and 5 are almost the same height. 5, of course, is the one you can only see the antenna, which we call 875 Michigan today. All of us call it the John Hancock. 1 and 5 have the observatories. My offer still goes. You're getting close to coming back in. If you're not sure what to talk, what to see in terms of talking with me afterwards, I'd be quite happy to spend a few minutes. I talk fast, there's so much to say. 1 and 5 are the two that you can access if you want to see the view from the top. So as we come back in, then we'll do that. And I will wait till we get under this bridge here. We're going to focus on the left. Remember we said we'd save the details of this building on our way home. This is Lake Point Tower as we get under the bridge here. So look to the left in just a second when we come underneath here. We'll focus on the details.
Look at this. You want my shawl too? That's why I wore long sleeves. But see, when the sun
looking
was
to the
out,
left.
the sun moved.
When Mies was in Germany, he sketched a building that looked like this in 1920. It was sketched for a competition.
Yeah.
Theoretically, we did not really have technology in 1920 to build such that height. Two of Mies's colleagues, Shipwright and Heinrich, got this commission between about 1965, was finished about 1968. It is 70 stories of condos. The circular piece at the top used to be a restaurant, which sadly has been closed for a few years. A couple amenities if you live at Lake Point Tower. No Lake Point Tower story, real quick. And a little girl in the first row, this was years ago, she's like, this girl, know what it is.
It does look like a flask.
You're right, that's been the number one.
Oh, no, you're right.
Bookends. In the 90s, they made Navy Pier the tourist city area. In 1909, Chicago, planned by Bennett Burns, acknowledged as municipal pier number 2. To not name Navy Pier until 1927, or Gateway Park. Carol Ross Barney and Brooke Ark, we will not be starting until. And who are the developers here? This is Related Midwest. You're child's this. And this at home or sitting at your desk and nothing else to do. I want to say to you all, we have a captain. I talk so fast. I have so much to see.
Over by the Navy Pier. Yeah.
Is that like a duck boat?
They probably changed it now. They call it the Ugly Duck. Yeah. That was one of them.
In Boston, they have things called the duck tours where it's like a bus. Well, I don't know if you can get it's like a bus but shaped like a boat. And it,
Oh man, towards the end, I was like, definitely
Huh?
Shaw. Towards the end, I was like,
But see, that's why. Because I figured on the lake, you know, sometimes get cool, but for the most part, it was nice because the sun was out. Ooh, these are butterflies. Oh, this is so cool.